Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here and you. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Welcome to Thursday's DCU Extra. I'm a bit of an idiot. I promised you in the previous video, the DCEU Daily, that we were going to be talking about David Sandberg's live tweet-along about Shazam, and I forgot. So I've got some of the stuff that he tweeted. Very interesting stuff, so let's give it a read. It's always hard letting second units shoot stuff. You want to shoot it all yourself. Sivana and Shazam flying around was such boring blue screen work, though, that I happily gave it to all the second unit. He's hilarious. He's got a picture of the Shazam family here, which is beautiful, isn't it? It was awesome having a whole carnival for ourselves. The booths had real candy and everything. I ate candy every day. Screw continuity. Not seen in the movie, but the crocodiles playing poker have a painting of humans playing poker, and the art department made one of them look like me. Another prop I wish I'd kept. Wow, look at this. That's stunning, isn't it? That's brilliant. One of the guys walking by outside the strip club is Seth Green, who visited the set that day. I played all three crocodile men. It was extremely uncomfortable. And here he is. Here he is, playing a crocodile. Here's two of the scenes, the way they looked on set. Yeah, takes away that fascination and escapism, doesn't it? The Batran prop was from BVS, I believe. Should have kept it. Look at Asher nearly kicking himself in the back for the shot of him jumping off the roof. That's impressive, isn't it? Wow. It's Billy's mom's version of the flashback. There are a lot of different details, different hat, gloves, coat, mood, etc. It wasn't as great as Billy remembered. Travis, the arsehole boyfriend, is played by yours truly. I didn't know that. Because of the weird scheduling, we had half a day to get that shot with the train passing in the background. We did so many takes. We got double trains, single trains, etc. And yet some important scenes you sometimes have to rush through. This mail was open when we shot there, so that was when our first photos of Shazam's suits were leaked, yes. Zach improvised the Get him Batman line. He also threw Barbie dolls and yelled, "Get him, Barbie." That was too much for me, though. Testing the Shazam into police car stunt, it was later done into an actual car. The boxes were just for rehearsal. There you go. Some awesome stuff there. During this scene where Sivana meets Shazam, I was so sick I had a fever. And it was super cold. Notice the breaths between setups. I got some sleep in my director's chair. Not a fun few days. On Shazam, it was an all blue screen because the VFX supervisor said that works best with Alexa cameras. Look at the bus go. Pretty cool, right? We bought 4 or 5 buses for this scene. We had all half buses certain scenes. More fun stuff you get to do as filmmakers. I loved in the commentary when you're so excited that her glasses fall through her nose and knocks it off. That was a very important detail for me. As a director, you sometimes get little things in your head, and then that's what they have to be. Prop from Freddy's room. Gotham really needs to do something about their crime problem. Wow, awesome. It's pretty crazy what you get to do when you make movies. I like monsters, and if they're people, they need clothes, and you need to figure out from what time period and who should be male and who should be female, etc. Monsters are both easier and cooler. He's answering a few questions from the fans, which is pretty awesome, right? People often ask me if it was hard to get the studio on board with this horror scene. It was actually the studio that told me to lean into my horror roots. I was happy to oblige. Brilliant. I loved shooting this.
Stick on his camera without control.
Yeah, we will. I'll just clean up the...
Stick on his camera.
Wow. That's awesome, isn't it? This is an actual convenience store in Hamilton. Behind the counter they had bootleg DVDs. They even had one of my films, so I signed it with my bootleg name. Wow, I'm surprised they weren't arrested. A lot of concept art for Shazam's speed effect was very similar to the Flashes, but I wanted Shazam to have something really simple. There was a ton of cool graffiti in Toronto, but you can't use it unless you can find the artist and get permission. So we had to add a lot of temporary graffiti of our own. Interesting. Pretty cool. To light Asher during the hologram, this contraption was used where I could remotely control the light myself. That remotely controlled the light myself that then had to be painted out in post. The scenes had real light-up eyes. I loved this set and felt quite sad the day it was torn down. The statues were kept though. There's the scenes. Pretty cool, right? Original Savannah had to unlock the orb to steal it using this very Goonies-looking contraption. The numbers were for Mark to memorise. The combination. We originally couldn't afford to shoot in Philly, but when the studio saw the movie, they said that scene really needs to be on the Rocky steps to really work. We also got to shoot a helicopter shot, which was fun, except for motion sickness. One of the Sin voices is the great Steve Blum, voice actor in everything animated, even like Spike in Cowboy Bebop. Another Sin actor is Fred Tastico, who did demon voices in Annabelle Creation. That metal door frame got incredibly charged up with the static electricity when you pulled the sheet of it. You zapped every time. It was so strong that I was able to catch it on video. After Lotta Lotson survived all the horror movies we made together, she finally got to die in the most family-friendly movie I directed. Unfortunately, when you make a movie, you only have to see it properly 100 times, but you also just see everything that turned out wrong. Don't worry, David. I told you this already. No one noticed the wrong things. It was a great movie. By the way, this is the first time ever watching something I've directed after it's been released. Didn't plan to rewatch Shazam, but didn't want to say no to this one. Once I'm done with something, I'm done, and I know it by my heart, so no reason to rewatch. We used one of the biggest sound stages in Toronto and built both of the Rock of Eternity and the Foster Home inside right next to each other for reshoots. They had to rebuild the whole Foster Home on a different stage, which was very disorientating. Because of the deleted scene, we had to stretch out the beginning of Billy outside Fake Mom's house. That tilt down was made in post, with painted in trees. Right, now this is the interesting one I wanted to read to you. There was so many back and forths about what logo to put on that cheesecake bag. If there was going to be a product placement, etc., we just shot a bag with some dots over and left that decision to post. Oh, that's not the thing I wanted to read to you. I'm trying to find the thing about the DC logo not being the DC kind of thing they do, right? These opening flying shots of Philly are all stock footage since our helicopter footage turned out bad. Technically, I guess you could buy the exact same footage and use it in your movie. Well, that's the good news. If I ever do film a film in Philly, I will do that, David. Pony Smasher, did you always plan on casting the amazing John Glover? He didn't come on board until reshoots originally. Old and young dad were different actors, but audiences were confused, so we had John play both. He's awesome, by the way. Imagine when I was a kid and saw Gremlins 2 that one day. I'd work with that guy. Gremlins 2? Smallville, mate. Smallville. The opening with the car was reshoot. If you have the extras with the movie, you can see a lot of deleted scenes. Right, this is what I wanted to read. I've seen various theories about why we didn't have the typical DC logo with characters. Truth is, I forgot. A lot to think about when making a movie. Some people don't believe that. The studio would have said something. Well, they didn't. I'm surprised it's the director's responsibility to make sure that logo's on. Interesting. Not a big deal. I wish it was there, but not a big deal. In 1 hour, I'll press play on. Yeah, that's it. Well, that's it. That's the commentary. It was brilliant. A lot of interesting things there, especially about the logo, but always interesting to see a director's point of view on a film. Please comment down below. Did you follow the online commentary? Did you re-watch Shazam? Were you watching it with director David F. Sandberg? Please comment down below. Like, share and subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.